Hi! So every Friday, I spend about half an hour planning out my upcoming week. And last week, while I was looking at this week's schedule, I realized I wasn't really going to be anywhere for longer than an hour or two besides work and at home. And because I give myself some kind of a theme when it comes to photos every week, I was a little frustrated at first. But then I thought, I could actually take advantage of that and try to take a picture every day, even if it's just a picture or two, or even for 5 minutes. So that's what I did this week, except for one of the days when I went to the office. What I actually wanted to capture was two people shaking their hands after the game, which did happen, but it happened so fast that I didn't even get to capture it. Not to mention, I was actually watching them play. And because I didn't get the handshake picture, I thought I would just be okay with this picture. This is actually heavily cropped. Here's the original. When you just look at this picture, it doesn't really tell a story. It just says, oh, they're playing chess. But when I cropped in, it seems like you can actually see what was happening. You can kind of feel the intense emotion or the confusion even. And because the hand was blending in with the background, I used the dodge tool to brighten up the hand a little bit. This is another case of cropping in. So when we look at the original, you have a bigger picture of what is happening. The guy in the Glen Platt blazer, you can see his opponent too. But something about this picture was a little too busy for me. So I wondered what it would look like when it's cropped in, and I ended up really liking this. The guy, the owner of the hand from earlier, he and this blazer guy, they're not playing against each other, but in this picture, you can see that they're really focused on their own game. And I just prefer the way this looks. There are a few things I'm obsessed with when it comes to Los Angeles, and one of them happens to be liquor stores. Something about liquor stores is just so fascinating to me. There's a really famous one here, I think it's called the Circus Liquor, with the big clown neon sign. And as much as I would love to photograph that at night, it's just so far. And I'm never in that area. But here's one that I saw and liked this day. I'm seeing so many different types of signs here, I cannot imagine the middle one lit up at night. Ugh, against a red background. How cool would that be? But as usual, this picture was missing something. I waited around a little bit, hoping someone would come out of the store or someone would cross the street. But I think I got something even better. Here's my idea. In between the structures or poles, you could see what's happening on the street. And it made me want to frame my pictures in a way where I can see and take candid pictures of people walking by, biking by, and so on. But here's the thing. Leftover trash on the table, distracting. The background in general too, the storefront, the tree, the car. It was a little too much. So I decided to wait a little bit and go to the other side of the cafe. Was this any better? Kind of. I thought it was a little cleaner than the first attempt. This is kind of similar to the last picture, but instead, maybe have a customer walking between those two glass windows, or something like this with an employee in the middle, but more well planned out. Now, this part of the video, I would like to call it the art of patience, because I waited at least 5 to 10 minutes per shot. There was something about this that I really liked. I don't know if it's the blue against the red and the yellow lights on the side and the top of the red. Something about it made me want to really take a good picture of it. But because I was on the other side of the street, I decided to go closer and see if I can get something. Not what I was looking for, but I wondered, what if there was a teller or a worker in the window looking at the people that are walking in front of me? When I turned around from my last spot, I saw this lady standing with her bags waiting for a car. And something about the way she looked was very nostalgic, lonely, somewhat melancholy as well. I might have felt this way about this picture because I was listening to the official Succession playlist. And that entire playlist is so somber, there's nothing happy about it there. But because of this kind of cold, dark, moody things I was feeling, I wanted to get this picture one more time. I don't know about you, but I really like this. But because Our Lady's a little too dark, I used the dodge tool to bring her out a little more. Along with the liquor store one, this is my favorite picture from the entire week. And when I'm out taking pictures, I know when to stop when I have this thumbnail image. It sounds a little weird, but to me, the thumbnail represents my best image from the entire session, week, photo walk, etc. And I was so satisfied with this picture that I thought I could just stop and go home. But I wanted to get some air, and I knew I could get more pictures as the sun went down. I wanted to experiment a little bit with different shutter speeds. I took track pictures in a similar manner not too long ago, and I remember really liking how everything turned out. So I wanted to give that a try while some people were standing still. So I was looking at stillness versus movement. This was just a random picture. I didn't reset my settings from the last picture, but I'm kind of enjoying the darkness of it. But I wish the person was less blurred so you can really see the silhouette of this person walking. I don't know how I feel about this, but I like it. I don't love it, I like it. Now, while I was in this area, I wanted to do something a little cliche. You can usually find someone posing with their car, taking fit pics. I've never actually taken any pictures here, so I thought, why not? I'm here already. This might be the least favorite picture I've ever taken or taken in 2023 so far. I know some people might talk about how they like the contrast between the darkness up there and the lightness down here, but to me, there's nothing really special about this picture. But I wanted to keep this here because here's what I was thinking. The car on the bottom, the gray car, you can see the red lights. On the right side, you can also see the bus with the red lights. To me, that was not well balanced out. I either needed a car on the left coming towards me or another car coming towards me on the lower level. After maybe waiting for 5-10 minutes, I ended up getting this car on the lower level. With the car on the right with red lights, the car on the bottom with white lights, I think it's somewhat balanced out, but I'm still just okay with this picture. This was one of the places that when I first saw this, I went, oh my god, I'm gonna spend a lot of time here. Because I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted to have one person per square, aka at least 4 people. Yes, I can Photoshop them in, but at the same time, I want it to happen naturally. Now, the hardship here was, even having a single person in the frame was difficult enough, let alone 2 or 4. But I knew what I wanted and I had to have it. So I waited a little more and got this. I think it would have been better if the guy on the left stayed there, if there's only one person and the other square had another person, maybe with a dog. I think that would have been my dream shot, but at least I got something somewhat close to it. I thought taking a picture every day was going to be easy. I was actually excited about it. I thought it was gonna push my creative abilities, but I realized because I had this idea of having to take pictures every single day, I was under a lot of pressure. I felt like I had to romanticize everything I was doing. But again, as usual, I thought this was a good practice because it actually got me to take my camera everywhere, which surprisingly, I don't do that. And it really captured what I was doing every day. Also, listen to something dark the next time you're out shooting, like Euphoria soundtrack, Succession soundtrack, something. It really makes you feel and look at things differently. I wonder what would happen if I listened to something like SpongeBob theme song.